Oh, what if I told you? One of the richest black communities in America was burned to the ground in a single night. What if hundreds of people died? And for decades, almost nobody talked about it. This is the story of the Tulsa Race Massacre. The night Black Wall Street disappeared in flames. In the early 1900s, Tulsa, Oklahoma was booming. Oil money was flowing through the city. Businesses were growing fast. America was changing, and Tulsa was becoming rich. But inside Tulsa was a place even more extraordinary. A neighborhood called Greenwood. Greenwood wasn't just another neighborhood. People called it Black Wall Street. Why? Because black families there had built something almost impossible during that time in America. Wealth, power, success. Black Wall Street. The streets of Greenwood were filled with black-owned businesses, banks, hotels, restaurants, barbershops, movie theaters, schools, newspapers. Doctors and lawyers lived there. Business owners wore expensive suits. Families lived in beautiful homes. Children walked safely through busy streets filled with music and life. Some people said money circulated inside Greenwood so many times. The community became richer and richer every year. For many black Americans, Greenwood represented hope, a future, proof that success was possible even during segregation, racial tension. But outside Greenwood, America was deeply divided by race. Black Americans faced discrimination almost everywhere. Segregation laws separated black people from white society. Violence against black communities was common. And many white Americans hated seeing black success. Some newspapers spread fear every day. Stories painting black people as dangerous criminals. Angry groups blamed black communities for problems they never caused. Tension inside Tulsa was quietly growing, like a fire, waiting for a single spark. A 17-year-old black teenager named Dick Rowland entered an elevator in downtown Tulsa. Inside was a young, white elevator operator named Sarah Page. Nobody knows exactly what happened next. Some believe Dick accidentally tripped and grabbed her arm. Others think he simply stumbled while entering the elevator. The next morning, newspapers exploded with shocking headlines. One article claimed a black teenager had attacked a white girl. But here's the question. Was it really an attack? Or was America already looking for an excuse? The mob gathers. As rumors spread across Tulsa, anger grew fast. By evening, thousands of armed white men gathered outside the courthouse where Dick Rowland was being held. Many feared the mob planned to lynch him. Inside Greenwood, black residents watched nervously. They had seen racist violence before. They knew how quickly mobs could turn deadly. Then, a group of Black World War veterans decided to act. These were men who had fought for America overseas. Men trained to defend themselves. They drove to the courthouse carrying weapons, hoping to protect Dick Rowland from being murdered. The gunshot. At first, both sides stood face to face in tense silence. Armed black veterans, armed white mobs. Nobody moved. Nobody backed down. Then suddenly, a gunshot rang out. Nobody knows who fired first, but within seconds, chaos exploded. The massacre begins. Gunfire erupted across the streets. People began running in every direction. The black veterans retreated toward Greenwood, but the white mobs followed them. And what happened next became one of the darkest moments in American history. Thousands of armed white attackers stormed into Greenwood. Homes were set on fire. Businesses were looted. Families were dragged into the street. Witnesses later described bodies lying everywhere. Smoke covered the city. Fire from the sky. Then survivors reported something terrifying. Airplanes appeared above Greenwood. Some witnesses claimed men fired weapons from the sky. Others said burning objects were dropped onto buildings below. Imagine the fear. Families already trapped by flames, now watching aircraft circle above them in the darkness. The fall of Black Wall Street. By sunrise, Greenwood was almost completely destroyed. More than 35 city blocks burned to the ground. Homes vanished. Churches collapsed. Businesses disappeared in smoke and ash. Thousands of black residents became homeless overnight. Some historians believe as many as 300 people may have died, but the exact number? Nobody truly knows. The silence. And then something even stranger happened. The story almost disappeared. Officials downplayed the violence. Newspapers changed the headlines. Records vanished. Insurance companies refused to help survivors. They called the destruction a riot instead of a massacre, which meant families who lost everything received almost nothing. The survivors carried unimaginable trauma. Mothers remembered children screaming through smoke. Elderly residents remembered dead bodies in the streets. Some survivors later said they were too afraid to speak publicly for decades. One elderly survivor described waking up in terror even years later, still hearing gunshots in her mind. Another survivor said, "We lost our homes, but they also tried to erase our memories." The question: so why wasn't this taught in schools for so long? Why did so many Americans grow up never hearing about Tulsa? Was it shame? Fear? Or did people simply want history buried forever? For decades, rumors spread about secret mass graves. Survivors claimed bodies had been buried quietly after the massacre. Nearly 100 years later, investigators finally began searching for those graves, digging through Tulsa's soil, searching for the truth hidden beneath the city. Today, the Tulsa Race Massacre is finally being recognized around the world. Memorials have been built. Survivors have shared their stories publicly. Historians continue uncovering lost evidence, but many still believe justice never truly came. Black Wall Street was more than a neighborhood. It was a symbol of hope. A dream built by people who refused to give up despite racism and segregation. And in one horrifying night, that dream was burned away. But even after decades of silence, the truth survived. Because history can be hidden, it can be ignored, but eventually, the world remembers.